Welcome to Network Today. We're so excited. Another amazing episode. I'm Cheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
That's right. And Network Today is all about taking you from meeting people to making money, right? We have to do it.
We have to do it. And we're going to add another little thing there called changing the networking mindset.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're adding that. Changing the networking mindset.
Well, that's the overall big picture.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Well, and one of the reasons that Rob wanted to start this show and that I'm like, yes, was because networking can be a little daunting. It's not necessarily that fun if you haven't mastered it. And it's a long game. A lot of people are in for the long game. So we want to help you through this episode, which will all be about follow up. Shorten that long game.
That's my number one tactic that I have to work on every day.
Okay, so we might have to do an extra episode on following up the follow-up.
Yes.
So we can do a deeper dive on that.
Yeah, so important. Absolutely.
It is. And follow-up, fortune is in the follow-up, because without follow-up, all the work you did leading up to that is what?
Nothing.
That's right.
A big fat
zero. So the goose egg. So we want to help you take it from a goose egg to the golden egg.
Yes.
Right? A Fabergé egg, something fabulous. So we've got a guest, an amazing guest who will be joining us.
Very excited.
That's right. And talking about follow-up. So the great Russell Duckworth. But before we get to that, I want you to think about, and this is spontaneous, we didn't discuss this, but can you think of a moment in the past week that either said, that's the worst follow-up I've ever had from a networking meeting, or that was the best follow-up I've ever had from a networking meeting?
Well, I think the example I'm going to use is just the fact that I went to a really awesome networking meeting last week, met some incredible people, and I got no follow-up from anybody. Zip, zero, nada. And I was disappointed, to be honest with you, because here I am with a group of great professionals and nothing, Cheryl. And this is why I'm excited about the episode today, is that we have to let people know this is a must.
Yeah.
So
if it's one and done, then that's what it is. It's done. Just go back to a cubicle. Networking is all about people who have an entrepreneurial mindset and they want to go make something happen. And you've got to be the initiator, right?
Networking is my number one lead gen activity. I mean, this is the life of my company. Is I've got to get better and better at it.
Yeah.
And the follow-up, again, it's my number one tactic that I've got to work on.
Well, acknowledgement is the first step to success, right? Isn't it the 12-step process? So acknowledging that there's an issue there. And it is hard because you're a super busy person. You're running multiple companies, you've got employees, and then you're also running your own networking type company, right? The personal Rob Bliss type. So I think that's most people would say there's no way I couldn't do it. So how do you do it?
Well, I mean,
do you follow up?
The follow-up is I don't leave the office until I've gone back to my notes and what I need to do, my task for the day. And I continue as I have phone calls or LinkedIn messages. I write everything down and I don't leave until I've checked everything off.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Now, some people say, I got to go pick up Johnny every night at 6:00 from soccer practice.
Well, I'm going to say, take that piece of paper, put it in your briefcase and take it home.
Okay. And if you're me, because you don't like paper, put it on your calendar. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So right then I put it on my calendar. There are also CRM tools that can help you follow up right there on the spot that you can put a follow-up date. But I actually put on my calendar follow up. And then I list all of the people that I've met that week, like all the connections that I have in my little CRM. And I put it actually in my calendar. So it bings me again and says, hey, Cheryl, get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that'd probably be a great topic one time of just, organization.
Yeah.
Keeping up with all the information. Because you think about all the people we meet during the week.
Yep. Yeah. And if you don't follow up, they're just lost. Right. You just wasted all that time. So I have got a list of my follow-up. We're not going to talk about it right now because since networking can feel a little daunting for some people, not everybody, but it can feel a little overwhelming. We really like to talk about successes, which we call a big grand slam. And so we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to give our grand slams of the week.
Are you having trouble with your VoIP phone system? Smart Office USA to the rescue. We're a local company here in DFW with real people, certified technicians, and we even come to your office to help you. Smart Office USA, representing the #1 VoIP phone system on the planet. And we are right here in DFW, ready to help you. Call us 214-272-0921 or go to www.smartofficeusa.com.
All right, so we're ready to talk about our Grand Slams. You know, we wanted to name it Grand Slams because like bases are loaded, you're up to bat.
We're knocking it out of the ballpark.
That's right. And sometimes I just have a 2-base run, but you know that it's leading up. We're working into the Grand Slam.
Well,
so,
I got a Grand Slam this week.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Man, this is really fun. Great story. I'm an ambassador for the Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce, and every Friday we go out calling with one of my other associate members of the chamber, and we knock on 10 doors within Farmers Branch, and we carry bags, and we're there to introduce them to the chamber and why they should join the chamber and so on. Well, meanwhile, we meet some nice business owners, get talking about what we do, and then boom, I got 3 leads this week.
Bam!
For 2 hours cold calling for the chamber. And then the bonus was, yes, I got 3 leads for me, but we got 3 leads for the chamber. They want more information about joining the chamber. So it was like double bonus there. So it was great. Had a lot of fun. And this is now going to become a weekly event.
Yes. And this doesn't have to do necessarily follow up, but I love the whole chamber thing that we were talking about earlier, in that it allows you a calling card that's not a sales calling card.
Exactly.
So you're selling yourself,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, and it's talking about giving back to the community and really trenching in with Farmers Branch and supporting the city. It was so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. And you're able to continue to forge a relationship with the person that you're doing that with, right? Because it's the ambassadors go in twos.
We go in twos.
Right. Just like Noah's Ark, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Just like Noah's Ark. So my Grand Slam really comes in, again, you know, how I like that networking tree. So the trunk of the tree, here I am. And there was somebody that I met several years ago with a bank. Well, you know how people change seats with banks, right? But we're connected on LinkedIn. So we continued, and I really liked this guy. Like, he was super genuine. And so as he changed to another bank, we kept in contact, and loose referrals, right? But still we stay and lose contact. And then I sent him a referral partner referral the other day, and that instigated him to then respond and say, oh my gosh, Cheryl, you need to reconnect with the Midlothian Chamber because we have new leadership and they need you to talk again on identity theft and fraud tsunamis or what. I mean, because that's just always a big deal, right? Fraud tsunami. Right. And so he helped me get the September date linked with the Midlothian Chamber, right? Oh, wow. So that's how networking works. So that's like a 3, maybe even 5-year cycle, probably 5 years. So we meet, not magic happens. There's nothing spontaneous that happens at that point, but we just keep staying in contact. We just keep, pinging each other, sending
the follow-up.
Yeah. Sending a referral a little bit at a time. And so it is that continued follow-up drip, right? That then you become the person that they think of when they need what it is that you do.
Oh, that's a great example.
Yeah. So I really felt like that was an over the fence for me this week. So
cool.
I love that. And you know what's coming up? This is one of our favorite I'm so excited that we've implemented this. And that is our guest speaker on certain topics. This particular one obviously is on follow-up from the king of follow-up.
Yes. Oh man, he is the master.
Mr. Russell Duckworth. So you want to stick around for that one because he's an amazing freak of nature. He does things that other people don't do, which is why he's so successful.
Yeah.
So you want to follow the successful people.
Absolutely. I've in the short time that I've known Russell, he's been a big influence on helping me in my follow-up. So yes. Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to do that when we come right back. Let's face it, employees waste time on the company dime. Why? Life's complicated. We help keep the junk of life out of the workplace and in the hands of the experts. Empowered Advantage, empowering employees, giving businesses the advantage. Letter M as in magnificent, poweredadvantage.com. Oh my gosh. Russell Duckworth in the house. Can you believe it?
Mr. Networker himself.
How did you pull this off? He's Mr. Busy.
He is so busy, man. Did you see his LinkedIn posting the other day where he was like in 5 places all at the same time? How did he do it?
Quantum tunneling is a handy tool to understand. Yeah.
Right. Oh, we were talking about quantum.
Oh, no. We said we weren't going to do that.
Oh, okay.
This is a networking show.
But quantum leaps, right?
Yes.
Means you could network 5 times the amount. Okay, so that's a whole nother show.
Right. Well, imagine you're the warm-up band for yourself. Right. So that first event, you're just kind of getting going. That second event, you're in the groove. That third event, you're really moving strong. Right. By that fourth event, you are worn out.
That's right.
But luckily, we've got good friends there at those events. Like you were there at that Dallas Transportation Club meeting that night. And what a fantastic way to wind up the day. So
yes, but Cheryl, this is a great segue now into what our topic is today about follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Russell did this incredible networking in such a short period of time. So what's his next step?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent question. The next step for me was to take action immediately on the 2 referrals that I got the next morning from the 4 activities that I had on Tuesday.
Wow.
So there were some immediate things that I needed to do, follow up with a couple of individuals who had hot items that they wanted to give to me. And I really appreciate those guys. These are people that I see or have known for a while. But I think that's the most important thing, Cheryl. You and I were talking about the follow-up process. It's a little bit like planting a seed and then forgetting about it. You put it in that pretty pot out by the porch and you put that seed in there and you don't water it and you don't tend it. What happens to it? That's exactly what happens when you don't follow up.
It's a whole bunch of nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You just have a bunch of dry dirt.
Yeah, it does take nurturing. So there had to have been some through your journey because you've been networking for decades.
Yes.
We'll just say
thanks. The gray hair gives it away, right?
Decades. But there had to have been some trigger that said, hey, this happened to me or didn't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore that was really important now for me to implement this into my follow-up. So take us through that journey.
So I think part of the thing that I love the most about networking and just connecting with people is the people part. I have been a people person forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I was in IT, I think that was part of the success, right? Was I knew what my role was and I was responsible for. I knew what the job was. I was going to go back to the office and cut code. But while we were in the office with our customers and understanding what their challenges were and how we were going to help fill the gap between where they were and where they needed to be, we were developing these great relationships. And my best story about that is the woman that I work for right now, Ann Capps, was one of my best consulting clients. And that was just we took care of the problem that she had that first weekend, and the trust was cemented immediately. So everywhere she went after that, she took our company with her. And so it's not just about what you do, it's about how you do it.
That's right. And consistently following up even beyond that.
Yes.
So with Ann, I'm sure that there were continued follow-ups because you can't just follow up once and go, okay, now I did it. Now I can never follow up again.
Right.
And that brings up the question, Cheryl, is, Russell, how do you do the follow-up? Do you have a system in place? Is there some certain techniques that you can share with us?
It's actually very simple. One of my most basic follow-up techniques is just to sit down and write a simple thank you card. And part of it's a gratitude exercise for me, right? Because I'm genuinely thankful about the opportunity that I had to connect with people. And especially for those who are literally saying, you know what, I'm not just going to shake your hand. I'm actually going to go back to my desk because I know I've got somebody here that needs you.
Yeah.
And when they make that extra effort, I think it's worth a little extra effort to reach back out to them and say, you know what, I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you for your thoughtfulness. Or to be very specific about what it is you're thanking them for. I mean, I'll take a thank you any day, right? Just thank you so much. But if they say, I really appreciate that you just showed up to support me today.
Yeah.
That really affirms what it is that you've done in their mind
to
connect with them.
Yeah.
So it's important not just to show up, but to pay attention to how we're feeding each other as networking partners.
And to express our appreciation in writing or verbally some way. Because I tell you, there's just nothing nicer, Rob, and I'm sure you've gotten them too. Let's just say you've gotten them. A nice card from Russell. and you're going through all
I
of
have
your
a couple too.
Oh, hey. And so you're going through all your like circulars, and there's a grocery list, and there's another, a couple of credit card offers. A note from Russell Duckworth. Oh my goodness. It just makes your day.
Yeah, well, and
It really does.
I'm not putting Starbucks gift cards in there or anything. It's just a card with a note. So
Hey, right now, just the postage alone. Is
oh,
like a
right.
gift card.
That's true.
So-
That's a financial commitment.
It's a financial commitment. Yes. So are there some other things that you say, hey, these are also the things that I love when somebody responds and follow up to me that I think are just really super?
And it can be just, I think, a genuine thank you. But I've had people that I've referred business to, and the next day I get a big bottle of tequila. Now, I'm not a huge tequila drinker, but I can make it work over a few years.
That's right.
On a long weekend. But, I think anything between those two things, if you've got a budget for appreciating people in an extreme way, people love that. Yeah, they love getting a gift card or a nice bottle of something that they can share with their family. But I really believe that if it comes from the heart, and the more that we connect, you guys are excellent examples of this. I think the more time that we get to spend networking together, the more we really appreciate about why we do it and about how we connect our networks together. I mean, we're talking about at this table, probably a dozen networks that we are slowly blending together in a way that is becoming a foundational part of what each of us are doing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So there are easy things that we can do. I got some barbecue spices from somebody with a little barbecue recipe. One of my girlfriends, she's a realtor, and what she does is monthly send out this beautiful laminated card with a new recipe for whatever season you're in. I mean, just it can be something free, basically.
Right.
Well, people call them drip campaigns, and again, kind of agricultural, right? You can't just forget about that seed you planted. About once a quarter, I'll go through my list of regular follow-ups and just send a card. Especially during COVID, I think it was very important to keep in touch with the people that we care about. So I would send a card out. Hey, I'm just wanted to check on you, make sure you're doing okay. I'd throw a business card in there with it. At least twice, people called me and said, thank you so much. I'm holding your card. I just got it. And I've got your business card here in my hand. And it's time. We need to talk about doing business today.
Yeah.
And so you don't really realize the importance of that, planting the seed and tending and weeding and feeding and earning the right to harvest that piece of fruit until it's there.
Yeah.
But then after that happens a few times, you begin to see the value of spending that kind of follow-up energy where it needs to be
there is
spent.
fortune in the follow-up.
Yes.
Right, there is.
Absolutely.
So follow up with Russell.
Thank you.
Right? It's Duckworth, an amazingly great last name.
Oh, thank you.
So it is what it says it is, right? Duckworth.
Oh,
You're on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. Yeah, Russell Duckworth. Just Russell Duckworth.
Yeah.
Actually,
two
it's
S's, two L's.
/N/Russell, RussellDuckworth.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And he's a factoring professional
Thank you.
expert. He's amazing. So you want to connect with him.
Yeah, tell us, before you go, tell us in 20 seconds or less, what is an ideal prospect for you?
We love B2B businesses who do great business, whether they're fabricating parts or producing manufactured goods or providing services. The big challenge most of our clients have is that their customers do not pay them quickly enough. So they're doing this good work. They're sending out an invoice. They're making a payroll. They're making a payroll. They're making a payroll, and they're waiting on the check to come in or the deposit.
Right.
We help them get paid more quickly. That's what factoring is about.
Okay, great.
That's awesome. And quick little known fact about yourself.
I'm a beekeeper.
A beekeeper.
Yeah.
Like little honeybees?
Like honeybees.
Oh, that's what
What that's about. Yeah.
I thought it was a bird.
Yeah, some people say, why are you wearing a wasp on your collar?
To ward off the other wasps.
Listen, everything that we do about networking is so sweet if we do it right. And, the thing about bees is when they find something that's really sweet, they go back to the hive and they dance and they tell the other bees, I found something that's really good. I want you to come check it out with me.
Oh, my God.
And that's one of the things I love about networking is finding something that's really sweet and saying, hey, Rob, why don't you come with me to this? I think there'll be a good
awesome.
experience for you.
Wow.
So I'm
That's a big
smelling the beginning of a book from Russell called Be the Networker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There we go.
You heard it here first.
That's right. That's right.
So did I.
Russell, you are amazing, delightful. We just
thank
love having
you.
you on and can't wait to have you on again. We'll continue the discussion later. Don't you just love Russell? Like there's just a lovability about him. Not even a likability, it's a lovability about him.
Well, he's magnetic. He's got that charisma that you feel the warmth. Every time I love the guy.
Yep. You just want to give him a hug and squeeze his cheek. So follow up. What was the thing he said that really kind of sparked something in you going, man, that is so important?
Well, I think it's the very first thing he said is that does his thank you card. Something so simple as that, but and I know he does it because I've gotten 2 from him. And it just makes you feel so good when you get to open up the envelope, read what he had to say. And he's so genuine. He's so authentic.
Yeah.
It just, I get such a great vibe when he's here.
Yeah. Well, and I love the story about Anne or Anna, the gal that he's been working with for some time, and that she's just been taking him with her.
What a great story.
Because that is a great case in point as to why we follow up continuously. And it's hard. And I fail. Sometimes the closest relationships we kind of take for granted sometimes until then there becomes this disconnect with that relationship. And then all of a sudden we're trying to backpedal and catch up. But Russell's found a way to keep the follow-up going even when he's actually ascertained a client.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
it reminds me of a book I read a while back called The Power of Who by Bob Bodine, where he talks about we already know enough people, but we got to continue to build those relationships.
Yeah.
And Russell gave us such a great example.
Yeah, because the referrals begin to explode.
Yeah,
so operating in excellence. So love Russell. Can't wait to have him back. All right. Talk to you soon.
A small business is still a business. At Purple Cow Branding, we want to help you execute your greatest visions for your company. Purple Cow works for small businesses that don't have big budgets to spend on their marketing efforts. Inquire now at purpleCowBranding.com to be the biggest little guy around. Purple Cow Branding, much more than digital marketing.
So, man, that was so great hearing from Russell. He's the king.
He is the master.
Don't we have amazing friends that we met through networking?
That's why I love networking. It's to help build my business. But from the personal side and developing these friendships like yourself, your husband, Russell, and many more. So it's been wonderful.
So what was the networking nugget that you took away from Russell's discussion?
My biggest thing was, how he sends his thank you cards out, because I got one of those cards. And what that did in me was I've now developed a habit, and it's improved my follow-up. And he set the example for me. And it's something I knew I was supposed to do, but again, just didn't do it. But having a mentor, having those major influencers surrounded by them.
Right.
Now, I've been on it for about 3 weeks now. And now I look forward to it because I want to thank these people for their time, their effort, what they provided me. So it's a major thank you note, and I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to write down, I'm looking for a card in the mailbox from Rob. And here's a tip. While you're saying that, I think one of the holdbacks for, there are a lot of different ways you can follow up, but this is a really simple one that anybody can do, and it will help set you apart, is just to have a bunch of postcards with them already stamped. Right?
That's a great tip. Yeah.
So it's already ready to go. And then you just write, hey, loved seeing you, blah, blah, blah. You're amazing. And then drop it in the mail. 30 seconds and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a difference maker.
That's a difference maker. Yeah.
So it's
going to make you stand out. And again, the whole thing about it is it's not just about being nice too, that it's going to build your reputation. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to, again, build your community, which then will build your business.
Right. Right. So, that's exactly. And there's so many important things about following up. But if you don't follow up, you just got nothing. You get nothing.
It's just a major thank you for Russell. It's great having him on the show.
Yeah, it was. And so we want to make sure that you all connect with him, certainly on LinkedIn. And I can't wait to have him back.
And the major thing with Russell is he's constantly improving his networking tactics. Mm-hmm. And so the next time around, he's probably going to become a major nugget again. So,
So I've got a couple of things that are my faves on follow-ups.
Okay.
And maybe you can chime in on these.
Okay.
So these are really quick. We'll drill down on them on the website at networktodaydfw.com. You can go there and you can see a lot of the details, the list, the things that we're talking about here. Make sure you sign up for the email list so you can get special things. But here's some of my faves. So I always like, in regards to following up, when you go to a networking meeting, just right then and there, pull your calendars out, connect on LinkedIn, and get that one-on-one scheduled. Right? Do it. And my favorite thing too is to, and I'm big on this, include them on your calendar invite. It makes me crazy when we have separate calendar invites and then you risk that, oh, who's going to be where, right? And so then after you have your one-on-one, follow up with the things you promised.
Yeah.
Because I have so many people and I write down. So if you're watching this, I write down what you were promising me. Oh, hey, I'm going to introduce you to this person, this association. I write it down. And when I don't see it for a little while, hey, buddy.
Right.
Right. Because that follow-up is so important. And I fail. I'm not perfect, but I try.
Right.
I have my list. I go through it chronologically once a week and try and make sure that I've covered everything.
Yeah. My favorite tip, or after I've done my one-on-one is, of course, you've done the one-on-one, you say goodbye, hope to see you soon. And boom, once they leave, it's like, poof, they disappear.
Yeah.
So what I've done to sort of help be more proactive myself is I've created an email drip campaign where I've written 7 emails that I send every other day to that person. So I'm touching them 7 times after the one-on-one.
Virtually. Yeah.
And so I give them a bit of advice.
Right.
I give them a networking tip.
Yeah.
And then I get to look at the metrics to see if they're opening or not.
Yeah.
So then I can tell if someone's going to be a serious networker or not.
Yeah, those little email trackers.
Yes,
Those are gold.
they are.
Especially when you say, did you happen to get my email? And they're like, yes, I did. And you're looking at it, you're like, You didn't get, I know. Big sister Cheryl's looking. So I see that. No, that's a really good one. I know you're a great follow-upper. We can always be better, but you're a great follow-upper, especially with everything that you have going on. So we've got a really superb show coming up next week on, do you remember the topic?
Next week is going to be on discipline.
That's right. And I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert, but we got an amazing guest who really shed some awesome light on that topic.
He is terrific. Again, another major influencer for me and helping me get my networking going.
That's right. And we want to hear from you. So we want you to go to info@networktodaydfw.com. Share with us comments. We love to hear success stories, right? Or if you got challenges, maybe we should have a whole show on challenges, right? What are what's the Network Today Nation saying that's a real obstacle for them? And then when you sign up for the email, you're going to get access to some special things.
And again, I want to remind our audience too to go to our website. And we list the tips that we're talking about in today's show,
right.
So that you can take a look at them, download them, and again, use those tips during the week so that you can practice, because follow-up is so key to your success.
Yeah. There is fortune in the follow-up. That is for sure. Yes, and I'll have my tech corner, right? So I'm going to talk about some cool tech tools. I can't even say that. That's a big word, but tech tools. And if you've got some that you'd like for me to look at, I want you to also go to the website and email.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be great.
That'd
be great.
We want to hear from you. So we will be here next week. Network Today is the show where we take you from meeting people to making money. Lots of money. So, all right, Cheryl Powers and Rob Bliss signing off.
See you next week.
This has been a Purple Cow production.